Hello, this is the course tour video for the EPIC Master Course Math 152, Statistical Methods I. This course introduces students to the basic concepts of probability, descriptive and inferential statistics, and decision making. Let's start by looking at the faculty information page. This page provides some essential contact information for the instructor, including the name, location and phone number for the office, email address, and office hours. Additionally, it provides some personal about me information, which will help students feel like they have a real instructor, giving them a sense of instructor presence. When first entering the class, students are directed to the Getting Started page. This page has several important pieces of information that will help students get acclimated to this online class. At the very top of the page is the course entry quiz. Since this quiz is essential for knowing who is actually attending this class, everything underneath this quiz on this page is locked behind adaptive release so that only students finishing this course entry quiz can see everything beyond. Next, we have the FERPA release and academic honesty agreement, which our department uses. Third, we have the Getting Started module. This module contains information about the structure and the expectations for this course. Fourth, I created a syllabus quiz, which is used to verify that students have read and understood the information provided in the syllabus and on the Getting Started page. Once the students have finished all 4 of these items, they can proceed to the next step, which is the lesson material, the content of the course for the first week. Let's take a closer look at the Getting Started module. Getting Started is a Blackboard learning module allowing the content to be organized and easy to navigate for students. The topics covered in the Getting Started module include important items like this: the syllabus, the calendar of instruction, what materials they need to purchase and what technology they need, how the course is structured and how to navigate it, what the expectations for communication is like in this online class, and then some other information about grading and how to take tests. The first page in the module gives students an idea of what the purpose and some of the general expectations are for this class. It also gives a detailed explanation of each of the links in the navigation. Since it's structured as a learning module, students see one page at a time and click forward to go from page to page. Next, we have the syllabus, which is provided as a PDF and a Word document, the calendar, a description of the learning materials which are required, which includes in this case a textbook and a lab manual, details about how to obtain the required technology for this class, which is primarily Excel. On this page, navigating the course, I give a description of what each of the icons are and what they mean that you will see throughout the class. One of the main recent additions I made to this class is to put in more consistency by attaching an icon next to the different tasks and assignments and expectations that students will encounter from week to week. Each icon has a short description that explains what it will mean when a student sees that icon during class. Now we'll take a look at the lessons. Each week's lesson is contained in a lesson module, with the list of topics covered in this lesson defined in the write-up. Each weekly module has a table of contents which students can use to navigate throughout the different items in the week. The first item is always a checklist which gives the students a detailed list of what they must finish that week. I provide the checklist as a Word document and as a PDF, and I encourage students to print it and check off items as they reach them. The second item is always the learning objectives for that week. I always list the attendance requirements, usually 2 per week, as separate items that students can get to one at a time. In the first week, it's the course entry quiz and then an introduction survey, which I have students fill out to help me put them into groups. I use groups in this class to help students better approach some collaborative projects, which will give them a deeper way to interact with the content. In order to make the groups as effective as possible, I have this survey in week 1, which collects some information about the student, their experience in online classes, how they feel about mathematics in general, and how well they describe themselves as working in a group. I also collect information about how often they are able to work during different times of the day and what their major or what their career is. After the first week, when I've collected this information from all of the students, I put them into groups myself based on their responses. Usually, the first bit of information that I use most is when students are available to do work, because I want students to be able to get together in person if they would like to, or on the phone, and that is much easier to do if they're available at the same time of day. After that, I also want to make sure that I have students who are in similar career areas working with each other if possible. In later weeks, the attendance requirements are usually either a quiz or a discussion board requirement. I stagger the due dates for the different attendance requirements to help ensure that students are logging into the class multiple times per week. For example, the first attendance requirement in the second week of class is due on a Sunday, and the second attendance requirement is due on the following Wednesday. During week 2, students are placed into groups, and their first attendance requirement is a group discussion board where they must introduce themselves to the people in their group. Because I want students to work with each other closely and care about each other and take care of each other, I want them to interact with each person's introduction in a meaningful way. I've found that group-based introductions are more effective and get more interaction than class-wide introductions, because the students know that they'll be working with these people closely for the rest of the semester, and because they know that there's going to be 4 or 5 other people reading their introduction and replying to it specifically. It's a little less intimidating than shouting into the void where there's 40 students who may or may not read what you're writing. The content of the course is delivered in a variety of ways. Each section or lesson has a folder within the module, and I usually have slides or notes or videos listed in the same order as the checklist. Now let's take a look at the course resources page. In the course resources page, I repeat some of the information in the Getting Started page, for example, the syllabus, the course calendar, my expectations for attendance, materials, technology, and information about how to take tests. These are some of the more frequently asked questions that happen later in the semester that students may not go all the way back to the Getting Started module to find. So in summary, some of the changes I've made to this class include the look and information in the faculty information page to make it more personal, the different icons which are used to help students see how the different elements of the course are structured together, and the navigation of the course being consistent using learning modules, which puts students through the material in a specified order. Also, the group work is something I'm particularly interested in continuing. It has been very successful across all of the semesters I've taught this class. Students usually end up giving me very strong positive feedback about how their groups were very helpful in helping them understand the material of the course. I hope this was a helpful introduction to my course, and I hope you check out some other ideas from the other Epic Master courses.